Hello everyone, I'm the Arcane Storyteller, and today I'll be concluding my three-part series of creating a simple dragon. Today we'll be learning coloring and texturing for our dragon. Let us begin. So, first thing that you want to think about. Where is your dragon going to live, or what is it going to be? What is it going to be its habitat? Is it going to be a dark area? Is it going to be a foresty area? Is it going to be red mountains, like rusty mountains? Is it going to be black mountains? Is it going to be where is your dragon going to live? That's a good starting point on where to think on what color your dragon is going to be. If it's cotton candy mountain, whatever color it is. So let us think here. What color are we going to make it? I'm going to make this dragon a leaf green color. Then you could also try a different what's it called? Different shades, so that it's just that perfect one that you get, that perfect shade that you want. Also remember from our last episode, always makes your life easier to color things, to have straight lines for everything. Oh, one thing I really closely forgot. Before you do anything, always make a duplicate of your line art layer. It's very important to do so because it saves you a lot of time in the event you make a very big mistake and you can no longer undo. Alright, let's hide that second layer. And there we go. Yeah, that's a good green. Then the color we want to make the wings will be based off the shade that we chose for our dragon's main color. Then for the underbelly, something similar, but try to stay to your color palette. That's like the best advice. Try and stay to your color palette of where dragon is going to live. And then a good tip for the eyes. I usually go for like orange colored eyes, something that really pops, so that you could bring your viewers' attention to it. Have some pumpkin colored eyes. That one. And then for pupils, if you have a radiant fill tool, it makes things a little bit simpler. Because then get that glare just right. And then oops. and essentially you're filling everything that you can, well, everything that is easy to fill. Then for colors of claws, try and stay the same color that you're making the horns. And then the color of the claws will go along nicely. Now you're probably wondering, how do you get rid of if your line art ended up being a little bit patchy and your fill tool seems to not, it cannot fill the areas, the little white areas around here? That's very easy to fix. Take your select tool, invert it, go to a new layer, lower your layer underneath your dragon's color layer, and then fill with a dark version of your fill, and then try and balance it out. And there we go. Also, another thing to watch out for, if you have spaces like right here in between the legs, you need to add that to where you're selecting, because then it will fill up that little space. Let's go back to alright, there we go. So, now we have the colors and everything done for it. Last is the textures. Mainly, what you're going to do for the textures of your dragon, keep things little, very, very, very little. It's always those little details that count. So, let's start with the head. You can, your software should come with, whatever drawing software you're having, it should come with some basic default textures, like charcoal and stuff like that. And essentially, you could do very well using the default textures on your software. What I'm going to be using my software's default textures profile. What you do, that you then, so since I switched on to my texture brush, and you could do whatever other texture you want. I'm going to have a new layer. Then you can do this if you want. Have a blend mode for your layer. So like in this instance, I have a glow on this layer, so the texture I'm putting kind of lights up a little bit. Anyway, let's get our textures. Alright. So what you want to do is that you want to have small little details like this. And like for underneath the eyelid. And around the face. and go a little bit down the neck. Zoom out a little bit for you guys. And do that for texturing. And if you when you get closer to the edges, do that little smaller detail. And then you could use your soft eraser brush to then even that out a little bit so that it goes more like into a gradient. Sorry guys, I don't know why my computer's being jittery. And so now let's put some detail below the wings right here. Some of the legs. A little bit more. Do some coloring over here. Not coloring, texturing. Over here. And then for doing a little bit of lighting or stuff like that on the wings, you just take a lasso tool and then you go to a new layer, put it below your texture layer, and then I am going to do an overlay blend, and then try and make the color of like your wings or scales a little bit lighter. How about something like that? And then exit out of your lasso tool, take your soft eraser, and then blend that in. There we go. Now you have a nice little section of like where your dragon's wing folds, or stuff like that. Then you could do that. You could do that same method with other sections too. And then you could add like little itty bitty details like to scales. Just what you do is that you if you have overlay on, take your pencil tool and just slightly go over it. Puts on for a neat glare and glare or reflective effect for your dragon scales. Let's zoom out of that. And there we go. We're done. This is the end of my simple dragon drawing tutorial. Next time we're going to be looking at drawing complex poses or dynamic poses of dragons. More dynamic stuff, and it's going to get a little bit more complicated in those tutorials. Anyway, you guys, have a nice day.